the same thing. In fact, the two things rarely go together.
Dear me, you are smart.
I am smart, am I not, Mr. Worthing?
You're quite perfect, Mr. Fairfax.
I hope I'm not that.
I'm sorry if you're a little late, Algernon, but I was obliged to call on your Lady Harvard.
Certainly, Aunt Augusta.
Gwendolyn, won't you come and sit here?
I'm quite comfortable over here.
Lay, why are there no cucumber sandwiches? I ordered them specially.
There were no cucumbers at the market, sir. I went out twice.
No cucumbers?
No, sir, not even for ready money.
Thank you, Lay. That is enough. I am greatly distressed, Aunt Augusta, that there are no cucumber sandwiches, even for ready money.
It really makes no matter, Algernon. I had some dumplings with Lady Harbury, who seems to be living entirely for pleasure now.
I hear her hair is quite gold with grief.
It certainly has changed its color. From what cause I, of course, cannot say. Thank you. I'll quite a treat for you tonight.
But I'm afraid, Aunt Augusta, I shall have to give up the pleasure of dining with you tonight, after all.
I hope not, Algernon.
Well, you see, it is a great bore, and I need hardly say a terrible disappointment to me. But I have just had a telegram from my poor friend Bunbury, who is dreadfully ill again. And they seem to believe I should be with him.
It is very strange. This Mr. Bunbury seems to suffer from curiously bad health.
Yes, poor Bunbury is a dreadful ill.
Well, I must say, Algernon, that I think it is high time this Mr. Bunbury made up his mind whether he was going to live or to die.
Well, I shall speak to Bunbury, if he is yet still conscious, and I feel I can promise you he will be fine by Saturday.
Thank you, Algernon. It is very thoughtful of you. And I'm sure the program will be delightful after a few expurgations. Gwendolyn, will you accompany us?
Certainly, Mama. Because whenever people talk about the weather, they do mean something else.
I do mean something else.
I thought so. In fact, I'm never wrong.
Miss Fairfax, ever since I met you, I have admired you more than any girl I have ever met since I met you.
I'm quite well aware of that fact. For me, you always had an irresistible fascination. My ideal was always to love a person whose name was Ernest.
Gwendolyn, you don't know how happy you've made me.
My own Ernest.
But you don't really mean to say you could not love me if my name wasn't Ernest, do you?
But your name is Ernest.
But yes, supposing it wasn't, could you love me then?
That would be a metaphysical speculation.
Personally, to speak quite candidly, I don't think the name suits me at all.
It suits you. It's a divine name. It has its own music. It creates vibrations.
Well, really, Gwendolyn, I think there are lots of other nicer names. Jack, for instance, a very charming name.
Jack? It does not even have its own music. The only safe name is Ernest.
Gwendolyn, I must get christened at once. I mean, we must get married at once.
Married, Mr. Worthing?
Well, yes, surely. You know that I love you, and you just led me to believe that you were absolutely indifferent to me.
I adore you, Mr. Worthing, but you haven't even proposed to me yet. The subject has not even been touched on.
Well, may I propose to you now?
That would be an admirable opportunity.
Gwendolyn.
Yes, Mr. Worthing, what are you going to say to me?
You don't know what I've got to say.
But you don't say it.
Gwendolyn. Will you marry me?
Yes, darling. How long have you been about it?
My own one.
It is most indecorous.
Now you're going over here. Mr. Worthing has not even finished yet.
Finished what?
Mama, I'm engaged to Mr. Worthing.
Pardon me. You are not engaged to anyone. And now, I have a few questions to put to you, Mr. Worthing. While I am making the inquiries, you, Gwendolyn, will wait for me in the carriage.
Mama.
The carriage, Gwendolyn.
Yes, Mama.
May I have a seat, Mr. Worthing?
Thank you, Lady Brackel, but I prefer to stand.
I feel bound to tell you that you are not down on my list of eligible young men. Do you smoke?
Well, yes, I admit, I do smoke.
I am glad to hear it. How old are you?
About 29.
A very good age to be married at. I have always been of opinion that a man who desires to get married should know either everything or nothing. Which do you know?
I know nothing, Lady Bracknell.
I am pleased to hear it. I do not approve of anything that tampers with natural ignorance. Ignorance is like a delicate exotic fruit. Touch it and the bloom is gone. What is your income?
About 7,000 to 8,000 a year.
In land or in investments?
In investments, chiefly.
That is satisfactory.
Well, I do own a country house with some land attached to it, of course. About 1,500 acres.
A country house? I hope you have a townhouse? A girl with a simple, unspoiled nature like Gwendolyn could hardly be expected to reside in the country.
Well, I do own a house on Mary Hill Road, but it is let off to the city blocksman. Of course, I can get it back at about 6 months' notice.
The unfashionable side. I thought there was something, but that could easily be altered.
Do you mean the fashion or the size?
Both, if necessary, I will decide. What are your qualities?
I'm afraid I have none.